Alright guys, this is going to take me 1 second here. Alrighty, well guys, welcome back. I am Kep, at least that's what everybody used to call me. Now just, yeah, hey shithead. No, just kidding. Not quite that bad. So coming to you from the greater Iowa, Cedar Rapids, Iowa area. Uh, Nice day out today. Normally I would like to have been on about 20 minutes earlier, but I had some things come up and yeah. So again, I love drinking milk. So that's my go-to. Pretty much try to stay away from all sodas and stuff like that anymore. So that's my go-to. Kind of helps. I do a lot of talking anyway, but that does help me. That's not helping me at all either. Okay, so a lot of different moving parts going on last couple of days. Got more stuff coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a busy day. We got Putin and Trump meeting in Alaska. Um, See what happens with that. But like I said, I try to tend to start off with a little bit of a meme, kind of a laugh. Could be fun, could be animals, could be whatever. This one kind of fits right now. But yeah, it, kind of self-explanatory. I mean, we do have uh, term limit on the president, but we don't have term limits on your senators and representatives, and they become career politicians. And Iowa's got no, we ain't got no room to bitch here. We've got a senator that's been in there since the late '70s, and God, he's like 90 years old now. Um, you know what? Let's do that right here. We will look this up right now. Chuck. Yeah, he's been serving since '81. Um, he is fucking. He's 91 years old. 90 fucking years, 1 years old. And we're like, when did he just get reelected? Um, yeah. Anyway, um, just a couple of years ago. So he's already just 2 years into his 4 year term, 6 year term. So when he's done, he would be got 4 more years on that. 95 years old. Come on. It's time to hang it up there, Chuck. Chuck's kind of wishy washy on Chuck. Been that way my whole life, even when I was tending to lean more left. Like I said, I grew up in a lefty household. Mom and dad were both lefties. Mom used to talk about being tortured, having to listen to Rush Limbaugh in her office, and it drove her nuts. But um, so I grew up that way, and that's the way it was. But until I started learning more things, taxes really got me leaning more conservative. It's I don't really want to say that I'm a Republican. I am registered Republican, but it's not. I like the way the direction that Trump is going, and that's not really. It's kind of like the old. the Republican Party of old, but not. Um, it's definitely not liberalism. It's conservatism, conservatism with common sense. Um, Getting back to our roots of law and order, and um, so we can live in a little bit more tranquility. I mean, yeah, granted, you're not going to eliminate 100% of crime. Never going to happen. I mean, you can go back and quote the Bible. We had crime right away in the Bible in Genesis when Cain killed Abel. So violence is human nature. That's because we haven't evolved yet past the barbaric stage of life. Yes, we are living a lot better lives than 800 Germania. Um, just yes, but we are still doing heinous things. We still have criminals. Um, to eliminate it all, we need to reach ourselves. We as humans need to reach the next level, a little bit higher power, which I do believe is locked in us. I think it's been manipulated in a way that um, it's hard to unlock. Um, but that's a whole nother subject. A lot of you want to get into listen to Billy Carson and his good works. Just a second here. But I forgot where I was going with that. Anyway, yes, we'll go back to this again, where we do need term limits. Like I said, he's been in since 81, and he's just way too old. You were never designed to be we weren't designed to have career politicians. Even the politicians at the beginning of our founding, they all spent more time at home than they did in the capital or wherever they were first meeting. I do believe it was New York to start off with, Philadelphia area. Um, oh, wow. Excuse me, my eyes itch. Been kind of a long day today. So, but yeah, it was never designed to be that these people spend, 9, 10 months out of the year on Capitol Hill. But there's not enough stuff to be doing to justify being there. I mean, they've made it justify. They've they have made it so they have been able to justify it. Um, by creating more and more bureaucracies, and then you've got to oversee these bureaucracies, and they don't even do a good enough job at that. um, you know they just more or less have opened up the checkbook. There's never been any accounting, auditing of where our tax money's going, because a lot of it, well, we're seeing that with, you said, when that's getting, all that stuff's getting shut down, we're voting it all off. um we're seeing a lot of how big this expanse has gone. I mean, I've been hearing that campaign spending coming up is going to be like 25-35% less than before. It's like, oh, well, there's some more of that you said money. How much is that all being funneled around? So, um, anyway, let's go on. They were doing a Iowa State Fair is going on right now, and they were doing a contest. Well, not really a contest. It's also the 40th anniversary of the Iowa Lottery, coincidentally enough. But there's a world record in the Guinness Book of World Records set. It's like 550 people in Poland all scratched a lottery ticket at the same time. So, knowing that it was going to be the 40th anniversary of the Iowa lottery, they came up with this thing that we are going to beat that record. Um, I think they had like 2,500 people that were going to attempt to do this record. Now, y'all had to start at the same time. That was the whole thing. So they were getting all these judges and stuff like that to come in, and I have not heard how that's gone. If uh, I know it happened, but I'm not for sure. I haven't seen anything on any news yet to say if they actually got it done. But that would be neat. Yeah, they wanted to bring it back to the United States, and especially Iowa. Iowa has been one of the uh, we kind of started the whole Powerball and stuff like that. It was always Iowa's Powerball for the longest time until we lost it when we finally got Florida to sign on to the Powerball. Then it got moved down to Florida. So, but it originally was started here in Iowa. But interesting little thing. But there's been a lot of different records and stuff they've broken. Um, I guess it was Legislators' Day. Biggest thing that we have that these legislators here in Iowa need to deal with is our property taxes, which have, especially since 2020, they have gone up exponentially. Um, and property taxes just seem like it's one of those, another one of those taxes where we shouldn't have it. I mean, you buy your house, you buy the land, you get it all paid off. Say you just paid cash, say $100,000 for a house and an acre of land. You paid that off. Now, until you stop living in that, you have to pay X amount of money to the state to pay your property tax. So you're more or less you are renting your property by the year or by every. You can do it every 6 months. You can do your property taxes. Uh, so you never own your land. Nobody in America has ever owned their land. I mean, even the reservations for Indians get changed around, stuff like that. So, but you don't own your land. And that's one of those taxes that shouldn't happen. You should be able to buy your land and keep your land. And along with that, is the death tax, which I think is the death tax is what killed a lot of the middle class. It killed our farmers, just killed our farmers. Um, because you die and you have to pay a tax. It's called death tax because you can't fight the tax because you're dead. So they're going to take a percentage of what all you have owned and say this is what it'd be like if you sold it. So this is the tax, and it's an expert. It's a bad tax. Even at 25% is a bad tax because that makes and breaks farms. I mean, you might be a millionaire on paper, but it's all in loans and leases for your equipment and feed and uh, your seeds, fuel costs. Um, so 25% of you got nothing. You're barely scraping by. I mean, you can make it, but you constantly ride yourself in debt until you have equipment paid off, and even then you still have other costs. So the death tax has just killed, definitely has killed a lot of our farmers and a lot of families. That along with the property taxes. I mean, if you don't pay your property tax, they can put it up on auction. You can go in there, pay the property tax for the person, and now you pretty much technically own their house, even though they're going to still pay a mortgage because you own the land now. So, and whatever buildings that are on that, according to your taxes. So, it's a sneaky system, and it's just been designed to they needed the money to pay for all of their bureaucracies and everything. So they've found ways to just they don't care about us. They wanted to screw us over. They fucked us over. That was their whole intentions. And this is stuff that dates back to when we've started with income taxes and all and the whole Federal Reserve and that bullshit. Our problem started in 1913. And that's where we lost a shit ton of our uh, brain fart. Oh, man. Anyway, I just pulled a Biden. I forgot what the hell I was talking about. Um, I could go on and on down the Gateway Pundit for a whole bunch of different stuff, but I thought this has been a feel good story for a long time. DJ Daniel, the little boy that has a terminal brain issue, has had 13, 15, 16 surgeries. And he's an honorary member of the Secret Service and has been sworn into countless police offices, police officers, police to the police and sheriff's department, state troopers. He's been sworn in as an officer. And it was really sad when none of the Democrats could stand up for this kid being honored for his bravery. 13 years old. He wants to be a cop and he's fighting this god awful disease. Um, really wonder if he's tried some homeopathic stuff. But anyway, that was a disgrace. That really made the Democrats look really bad. Um, and it's not like they weren't on a trend going down to start off with. This really put them down, and they are pulling at record lows right now. So, you act like an idiot, you're going to get treated like an idiot, and nobody's going to like you. Oh, excuse me. So, anyway, we the people have had enough. So his dad is is a great guy. He has helped this kid out. He's been a wonderful, wonderful father by giving the best to his son, the best medical treatments and stuff. And he by far, this guy's got definitely has a place in heaven. He's a great, great guy. Um, but he's had enough, and he's going to run. He's going to run for be a U.S. representative. So here's his little announcement. Very well spoken man. So exactly, that's when I tried speaking about running a campaign to run for Congress. Too. Um, yeah, I'm a nobody, but that's the way our system is supposed to be set up. I mean, I could kind of use the comparison of AOC. I mean, look where she came from. She was a bartender, but she also had grew up in a fancy area and everything else. So, um, come to find out, she is not who she says she is. Imagine that. Democrat lying. Well, politician lying, but uh, I felt I feel that Congress needs more regular people. I shouldn't have to be a fucking lawyer. I shouldn't have to be this huge businessman that's um, started up businesses or went to college and worked my way up the corporate ladder and became in charge of a company. Now I'm using that, or yeah, attorneys or judges. You know, I the military aspect is a whole different can of worms. Not military people may do make great leaders. Um, but sometimes in the military you can lose sight of the whole picture. You'd be a little bit more narrow-minded, straightforward path. I mean, there's positives and negatives to it, but um, not to say I would not support. I don't. I love our veterans. My dad was a veteran, um, so uh, I, I I take the our national anthem. It still moves me to tears thinking of all the people that have died to give us this freedom. But we we've we really haven't had a real. The last high-ranking military person was Eisenhower, and it's not that Eisenhower he did a good job, but he complained about the military-industrial complex in his farewell speech. But the sad part was the military-industrial complex really kind of got started a lot under Truman, and it was more amplified by Eisenhower. So he's more or less one of the godfathers of the military industrial complex, but warned us against it. It's fucked up, but that's kind of what I mean. A grunt, a sergeant, or somebody like that. Yeah, they ain't got time for bullshit. You know, they do make good politicians, and that would be great. But your average Joes, your people that are making less than $100,000 a year, we got a lot more common sense and a little bit more. Fuck your thinking. I mean, we want the facts. We want cut and dry answers and no bullshit approach. We've got a job to do. A lot of us we get paid by the hour. Sometimes we get paid by the job or whatnot. But we're there to do a job. We get the job done. We do it damn well, and we get out of there. You know, so we need average Joes. If I lived in Texas, I would vote for this guy. And he's going to go on here. Exactly. He wants to put a term limit on himself. If I ran for Congress and if I were to win, I wouldn't want to limit myself to one term. I think 2 terms as a U.S. representative would be more than enough. Um, it, I don't see a purpose of being there longer than that, except for just my own personal ego. And that's the problem with a lot of Americans. We got big egos and we don't want to let go of that. We think we can do a better job than anybody else, no matter what. Once we attain that position, we're going to be the best at that position. And it's hard to give it up. That's why we do need kind of a term limit set so this bullshit doesn't happen. We don't have career politicians that turn into, that are funding career bureaucrats. And it's the bureaucrats that are really the ones that are really fucking us over. Thankfully, some of this shit's going to stop with the Chevron doctrine that got overturned. So, but again, term limits. I would come with term limits. 2 terms, I'm out. That's all I need. If I can't make enough noise then to inspire somebody else to take my job, I'm humble enough to step down. I don't need to stroke my ego. I'm humbled. I'm humbled just being alive. You know, that's the problem with these politicians once they get in there. A lot of them will say they're devout Christians, Jewish, Muslim, whatever. especially the Christians. But you're still given into greed. Your pride is taking over. You should be if if you are a God fearing person, you should be a humble person. You are no better than anybody else. And sometimes it's good to step away to let new ideas come in. But I'll continue on. We only got a few more seconds of this, so there you go. Yeah. Again, if I were to win, yeah, granted, I can't guarantee a second term, but I guarantee the 2 years I'm there, I'm going to be making my voice heard, fight for the people that put me in office. You know, where was I? I was on this. So go back. So state fair is going on. This is a obviously a lefty from Iowa here. She's complaining about her Medicaid cuts. Again, I don't know her situation. Well, I know her situation. We'll watch a little bit. She's got her sad story. I it brings up tons of questions over this whole incident because it deals with Medicaid. But wait a minute, wait a minute. So I didn't catch this a couple of times. I did watch this. Go back here. She calls over her assistant, whatever he is, for because there's a reporter. Um, and she has to put up there that I'm not a reporter, just an Iowa mom. Um, I love freedom of speech. I love watching these First Amendment audits. And the nice thing about the First Amendment is we are all journalists. I mean, Joni used the wrong term. A reporter just reports what a journalist gives them. There is a big freaking difference. That's how your people at CNN, MSNBC, Fox, even your local news people don't get sued into oblivion is because they're not a journalist. So they don't have to actually report. They can have a report saying that the sky is blue and it's been confirmed blue, and they could read to you that the sky is actually red. You've been looking at it wrong, and uh, that's completely fine. So there, it's a big legal thing, but anyway, we're all journalists. So let's get on with her story, which is really sad. 25 weeks. That's 15 weeks early. We just had a baby that survived 20 weeks, 22 weeks. Um, Record setting here in the University of Iowa, but I get it. That's rough. That's very premature baby. Um, that's towards the end of the second trimester. I mean, you still had 3 months to go. So my question is, sitting out here in this looks like a fairly nice house from the outside. Um, Kid's 4 years old now, autistic, probably from uh, eh, the autistic part probably had nothing to do with being premature. Uh, that has to do with other things. Tiggeroo. If you can hear my cat, he is loud. He has to make himself known when he comes into the house. We free range our kitties and they hunt. So, but anyway, go back to this. Uh, she's looks like a fairly well-to-do home. Okay, kid's what, 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old. I get it. Are you a stay-at-home mom? Okay, pretty nice house to be complaining right now. I will call BS on that because we have, and girlfriend definitely has. I've emailed too, and you get responses like right away, within a week. Um, Girlfriend had called back immediately. Uh, they do reach out. That is, I will call BS on that. That she did reach out. If she did, I'm sure she talked to somebody. So again, you've brought up so many different questions now. One that you brought up the whole lefty talking point about the Medicaid thing. Um, oh, it's going to kill millions of people. Millions of people are going to die. No, a lot of the Medicaid cuts were people that shouldn't be getting Medicaid in the first place, like illegal aliens. You're in this country illegally. There's no fucking way my money should be paid for your fucking health care. I don't qualify for Medicaid or Medicare because I make too much money, but I'm not offered insurance, and insurance is through the roof. So I have gone without insurance because I don't qualify. I'm not complaining, and I do not want, not that I want to be on Medicaid, Medicare, not that I want federalized health care at all. But again, why should a person that crossed over here illegally get treated better than somebody that was born here? So again, I think she's over. She's reading. This is a total lefty talking points, 100%. So I'm really skeptical on a lot of her story. Again, I go back to the house. Is your husband making a lot of money, or how do who's paying for the house and the other bills? Somebody's got to be working. Somebody's got to have fucking insurance. If you got that nice looking house and you got a husband that's working that has fucking insurance, why the hell is the kid on Medicaid? The only reason the kid would be on Medicaid is if you're not making any money, then who's paying all the bills? Again, so many questions, but we're not going to get those answers ever. Probably. Because she's a lefty. This is all lefty talking points. And she's got a bitch that Joni's going to walk away. But so again, she kind of reiterated the fact that a lot of this stuff is going to be dealt with on a case by case basis. Also, I mean, realistically, does she qualify for Medicaid at this point in time? Does a child qualify for Medicaid or Medicare? By the looks of things, I'm going to say that probably not. They're probably going to say, why isn't this kid covered underneath somebody's health insurance? You know, but she can keep bitching and bitching and bitching, which she did speak to her. There's no tried. You did speak to her about that. You got your point across that your Medicaid you think is getting cut. And you got your answer of, well, look at it. It's a case by case. There's considerations in there. Don't jump to fucking conclusions. She did have a conversation. We did speak with each other. Again, you're not going to, it's really hard to change these liberal minds. I remember there being a study years ago that, yeah, liberalism was a mental disorder. And it had to do with showing different pictures and stuff like that, like they do with chimpanzees and whatnot, and monitoring brain waves and how they react. And um, yeah, a lot of your lefties are very macabre thinking people. So, like, I really don't enjoy horror movies as that much. I I never really cared for them. It was all right. It was something to watch, growing up with Freddy and Friday the 13th and uh, Halloween with Michael Myers, Pinhead. But horror movies just really wasn't my thing. I loved Rambo and all those movies. Oh, but um, I put that up wrong. I mean, once follow me. It's at skepar01. Just yeah, I could do have some capitalize in there, but I could go through a whole bunch of this stuff on Gateway Pundit, the great news site, but my God, we could spend a half hour, I think, on each one of these. Again, here we just read the headlines on a lot of these. At this point in time, you should know what's going on. And if you're a lefty watching this, you need to start paying attention. Start open your mind up and think for once. I mean, that's how I changed my point of view was I actually started thinking and putting two and two together and realizing how bad. I mean, I thought at that point in time it was just Democrats fucking us over, but no, it's been both parties fucking us over. And there was only one person that tried to stop it, and they got to put a bullet in his head. So, but here again, we have another judge trying to block shit that they can't block. It went through the Supreme Court. You guys got to stop this shit. Stop these fucking injunctions. Here's another fucking injunction. So, more bullshit going down in Texas. Who knows if they're actually going to show up tomorrow? I know they were given, they're supposed to show up tomorrow, and otherwise they're going to vote anyway. That's funny. If somebody mailed Newsom a Trump 2028 hat, that's freaking hilarious. Roblox. If your kids are on Roblox, I'd probably get them off of there. I mean, I played Minecraft. I never got into Roblox. I enjoy playing Minecraft. I don't play with anybody else. I gave up on the whole playing online with kids when a 12-year-old told me how he was going to go fuck my mother and all this other shit. And it, it really kind of pissed me off at the time because my mom had just passed away. And I don't need some prepubescent kid telling me off, more or less, on a fucking video game. That really kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So, and I don't play. I like to just sit back and relax. I can play Minecraft and listen to Alex Jones and his beautiful words of wisdom, or listen to like Billy Carson or Randall Carlson and just a little Joe Rogan and Tucker and just interesting things. But yeah, another Democrat. Oh man, $119,000 embezzled. Oh, I did not see that earlier. So we are filing a lawsuit against Roblox. Let's look into that here in a little bit later. Uh, Kind of funny what was going on. I see something up here. Yeah, so Newsom's giving this fucking speech, and Border Patrol's out there busting people right next to it. It's fucking hilarious. People are working. People are working. People are working. Go back. Go away. People are working here. Yeah. So, fuck you, bitch. They're here illegally. They're not cowards. They're doing their fucking job. And if people had done their fucking job in Congress, if these motherfuckers in Congress would have done not even Congress, proven that it doesn't have to be done in Congress. If Joe Biden, his handlers, his autopan handlers, they could have stopped this. They didn't need Congress. I bitched about it before on my other stuff that I was doing uh, for GCN, GNC, GCD network. Uh, you know, oh, yeah, they're all here illegally. Fuck them. Get them out. Get them out. Exactly. We're making California safe. Yeah, 100 feet away. Gavin Newsom's in there saying everybody don't get. I'm out of my fucks to give. Where was that? I exceeded the number of fucks today. That's what he said because, ICE is outside arresting people. But fucking hilarious. I guess the height of what I really want to kind of talk about. I'm done with these for now. Tomorrow, the meeting with Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump. See how well this meeting goes. First time meeting. It's the first U.S. Russia summit since June of 21. Obviously, that was not. That was with Joe Biden, the bumbling fool. So we knew nothing got done there at all. Um, so, but we're gonna see how well this turns out. We need some peace in this area, in that region. Land is going to have to be given up. Zelensky was not invited to this at all. He has. You have no skin in the game. At this point in time, you are a fucking dictator. You've suspended elections. You've arrested your opposition. You've shut down protests. You've jailed your Orthodox ministers. Um, you're a tyrant. You are a fucking coke addicted uh, dictator. You have no game in this. You have no fucking respect by not wearing any sweatshirts. Really? No, no. That's not very professional. I don't give a fuck if you're in the middle of a war or not. But he's going to have to give up land. That's a given. Um, the land that is going to be given up is all Russian speaking. Now, the whole borders of Russia are from Ukraine after the breakup of the Soviet Union. Uh, Borders really didn't, since Ukraine really wasn't even a country before the start of the Soviet Union, it's really kind of hard to draw where your lines are at. So they kind of went with what your ethnicity was, and but somehow Ukraine didn't. Ukraine is made up of 2/3 Ukrainian and 1/3 Russian. They are Russian bloodlines, Russian speaking. There is difference between Russian and Ukrainian. So that's what this area is about. And it's been a flip flop in Ukraine that people that were more for the side of Ukraine really treated these people in the Donetsk, Mariupol, Crimea area like shit. Um, and did launch secret attacks and stuff like that. We've had a constant little battle going on for this area ever since pretty much the start of Ukraine after the fall of the Soviet Union. And we have aided and abetted in a majority of the back and forth. When the people actually elect somebody, most of the time it ends up being more sympathizer to Russia. So the the warring kind of settles down, but then the U.S. says we can't. Not just the U.S. It's the Europeans, NATO more or less says we can't have that. We can't have that. You know, we can't have a country that's working with Russia at all or has anything to do with Russia, even though there's no reason why we can't have anything to do with Russia. But um, it's there's going to be land that's going to be given. When we see Crimea go, they did have a they did have an election there. They had a vote, a referendum. Does Crimea stay with Ukraine? Does Crimea go with Russia? And since about 90% of Crimea was Russian bloodlines, they voted to go to Russia because at least they'd be treated better than by a U.S. backed president of Ukraine is going to treat them. So, and that's another lie that was coming out of a lot of this media was all these kids going missing. All these Ukrainian kids are going missing into Russia and blah 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 blah. Well, they kind of got shipped there. They sent them to their families so they wouldn't get killed by drones and missiles and that kind of stuff. I mean, they kept them safe. It's not that they were being stolen. Not like what was going on in our border where we're missing hundreds of thousands of children that we know about. There's millions more that go missing that nobody's going to know about. But yeah, the land's going to be given up. Zelensky has no fight in this at all. We're the biggest backers of Ukraine. A lot of the countries are starting to back off on actually wanting to give him any more support. So hopefully this summit goes well. I kind of talked about it a couple days ago. There's only so much you can get done by talking on the phone, plain and simple. Um, and it's hard to judge people by a phone conversation. Facial expressions and I guess just seeing the eye, seeing the mouth moving can give you different feelings and how to judge things because we're all prejudiced to start off with, but we're always judging and getting how their demeanor is, the way they're talking, it comes out of actually seeing their lips moving. That's why we had a lot of regression with kids, especially when you covered faces. Children need to see our faces. When they can't see facial expressions, it really messes with their psyche. It messes with an adult's psyche by not being able to see somebody's face, especially when they're talking. If you're only seeing this much, especially over doing the Sharia law, it's like if you're only seeing this much of somebody's face, it's it really plays with your psyche. It really does. But um, there's going to be hopefully there's a lot of progress because yes, war is terrible. There's only one good winner. There's only one winner in a war, and it's not. I repeat, it is not the two sides that are fighting each other. Those sides are both losers, no matter what. No matter what, in this war between Ukraine and Russia, Ukraine has lost, obviously, but Russia has lost too. The only people that win is the banker, the people that are the people that are funding the wars. Yeah, you could say that. Oh, France has given billions, and UK has. U.S. has given about $200 billion to the effort in weaponry and stuff like that. But who pays for all that? Where's all this money in the long run? All of it goes through your investors who control the banks. This all goes back to the Rothschilds and their banking systems. That's one of the reasons why we are always perpetually have been stuck at hating the Soviet Union and then afterwards hating Russia is they don't have a Rothschild backed bank. Our central bank is backed by that. It's illegal, and so is the amendment, but way different subjects. Not really ready to get into the whole Jekyll Island right now. Our Federal Reserve is illegal. I don't. I. It's my personal belief that it's illegal because I personally don't believe you can amend have an amendment to the Constitution that more or less cuts out sections of the Constitution. The amendments were to add on to, and these are the rights of the people. So the rights of the people, that's what our amendments are. That's our rights that the government can. We made an amendment that gave the government the right to create a central bank. Just like we made an amendment to give the government the right to make alcohol illegal. Those amendments I feel, make our founding fathers flip over in their graves. No, this is not what the fuck we meant. That's not what we meant by a fucking amendment. Good God. No. No. You can add on, but you can't take away from the main body of the Constitution. And having our gold, even though the Federal Reserve is not a government entity, the Treasury needs money. They print money. They control the interest rates. They're the ones that tell the bank how much they can charge for interest on credit, on loans and whatnot. Again, that's a whole different fucking subject there because that's where the banks have really gotten a hold of everything is the whole mortgages and everything like that. But yeah, I don't believe it's in my true heart that I think they are illegal, and it should be illegal. We have a fiat system that a dollar bill, show and tell. So this dollar bill is worth, and this is a receipt. Which one's worth more? This one is because it cost more than $1 to print, to make. That's probably about 20 cents. But realistically, this this is no better than this. This is no better than this, I should say. They're equal. This is backed by nothing. It's backed by something. It's backed by your soul, backed by you working. This is backed by nothing, absolutely nothing. Now, if you had something physical, I mean that's the only thing that makes it worth anything is it's actually physical. It's actually just physically a piece of cloth paper. It's not a good thing. Gold, silver, precious metals. Now you have something. Now you have something that you can back it up with. You know, you're not going to go out and spend, you know, $500 worth of gold and on something that's $1,000 and expect to be, you know, given credit, stuff like that. Our monetary system is broken, and I don't care for crypto because crypto is just replacing a fiat system with a fiat system. Again, you're back to nothing. Um, we're one big catastrophe away from having no electricity, and then how are you spending any money? You have no Bitcoin, you have no Ethereum, you know XRP, any of that stuff. You have no digital coins. So now you have at least at least if you kept with this, you still have something to hold on to. Digital currency, you have nothing. And when your computers go down, you exactly have nothing. Absolutely nothing. But save that for another time. Um, to getting to be. I don't have a lot more else. I don't think. I don't even know what's playing. What's playing? Ah, I don't know how long that's been going on. Damn, I'm stupid sometimes. Little chart from El Salvador from 2000 to 2024. Criminals are the root cause of a crime. They locked them up. Guess what happened? There's their crime rate down. How many people they arrested? So for murder. Um, Cleaning up DC. DC's getting cleaner. Um, yeah, we played that last time with them admitting that the data's screwed up, man. There's a lot of crime around here. Uh, I seen there's some bunch of asshats that were going up to, they're traveling to go to DC to protest the cleaning up of the town. The one guy, I don't know where the fuck he was from, but he said he'd be there in 2 weeks. Where the fuck are you at in the United States? It takes you 2 weeks to get to the capital. I mean, even if you were up at Barron Point, Alaska, you could still get there in a week. That's even sleeping. So, I don't know. Usually when I do my road trips, like we went to Virginia and sleep till I got to Virginia. We go to Colorado sometimes. Went down to Oklahoma. Yeah, and we just drive and drive and drive. So, but way different story. Anyway, um, Yeah, go back 5,000 years ago, and you had better life than now. And actually, yeah, the slaves thing was just for the crafts and stuff like that. The slaves had zero to do with the pyramids, and that's a way different subject. We were talking about that at work today. Really funny. But anyway, we will call that a good for now, I think. Depending on how well this meeting goes tomorrow, we might do something maybe on Saturday. I'll post something on X, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about Trump and Putin, and hopefully a peace deal in the very near future. So, again, thank you to anybody and everybody who's watched this. Go ahead, leave comments for me. I I'd love to talk to other people too, so it'd be great. I know I'm begging. I'm begging. Oh well. Anyway, we will call that good. I do believe so. Well, God bless everybody. God bless our troops. God bless the United States. So.